And we're here at Investors Group Field, and I'm with Tannis Wilson. And Tannis is really a force in women's football here in Manitoba. If it wasn't for her, there really wouldn't be women's football in Manitoba the way that it is today. So thank you so much for joining us today, Tannis.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
And now I know the history of the Manitoba Fearless and the Western Women's Canadian Football League is heavily intertwined. So why don't we start with the history of the Manitoba Fearless?
All right. Well, Manitoba Fearless is the elite senior women's program in Manitoba. We just completed our 8th year, and we're going into our 9th year next year. We started basically because I always wanted to play football and had nowhere to play, so thought, no one else is going to do it, we should just get on it. So started the team in 2007. I was a single parent with a 1-year-old child and thought, well, what a better time to do this. I'm self-employed, we have lots of other things that we can do in life, but I started the program. We had 55 girls out to our first meeting. It was pretty exciting. We played our first year. We had to find somewhere to play against, and I had some relationships. I had some friends in Alberta that had the Calgary Rockies at the time and the Edmonton Storm, so I called them up on the phone and said, yeah, we're coming out there at this time and we want to have a tournament. Can you make sure you're all there? And they're like, okay. So we kind of organized the tournament from Winnipeg. I think we went out with 38 girls, and we spent 7 days there and played 3 games. And the first game we ever played, we played against the Edmonton Storm, who had not lost a game in the 3 years they'd been playing, and we kicked their butts. And they didn't really like it very much. And then we played against the Rockies, and they quit at halftime. So for the third game that we were supposed to play in the championship game, they combined their 2 teams, and they ended up beating us by a rouge. So it was, but it was okay. It was great. It was our first opportunity to play. We had some really dedicated girls, and there's still girls that play on our team today that were with us that first year. So we've grown. We go through the ebb and flow of women's football. It's one of those things. We go from age 16. We prefer 17-year-olds, but we take 16-year-olds. 16 through death, I like to call it. We have a couple of players that are over 50, and they're just as hardy as anybody else is. But if anyone's interested in playing, age is not relevant. It's as they say, it's not the dog in the fight, it's the fight in the dog. So, we like people that have, and I say this all the time and people laugh at me, but anyone that gets yellow, red cards or gets penalties or is fouled out of basketball, we want you to come play football. And that's on any team, because we need people that are aggressive. We need women that, have always been told they're too aggressive, and we want people that, now have a place to play. So that's really what Fearless was originally there for, was to give people that have always wanted to play football an opportunity to play, and people that didn't have us find a space or a spot in other sports, an opportunity to find something that made them feel comfortable.
So how did that lead into establishing the WWCFL?
Well, the second year, I contacted my friends down in the States, and I said, so we don't have anyone to play against. Can we play against the Minnesota Vixens? And they're like, well, they had to get permission from the league before they could play out a thing. And so we went down to Duluth and played against them because we needed someone to play against. We'd already gone to Alberta, and so we went to Duluth. And then the next year, they came up and played. Actually, the Sioux City came up and played us because the Vixens couldn't come. And it was just getting tiring. You practice for 3 months and play 1 game is pretty expensive, and it's time consuming. And so I thought, well, this is silly. So I contacted the Alberta League and said, can I come to your next meeting? And they're like, sure. They had no idea what was in store. So we went there, and I said, we need to have a league. So we went to Saskatchewan, and the girls in Saskatoon were almost established. They'd played on the national team with us in 2010, but there was nothing in Regina. And fortunately, I have my claws in football all over the place. And my friend Steve Mazurek, who used to be my boss, is the vice president of sales and marketing sponsorship and marketing for the Riders. So I took him out for dinner and asked if he could help. I'm like, we need a team in Regina. You think the Riders would be able to help? He's like, sure. I'm like, awesome. So we had a few phone calls, a few phone conferences. The Riders got the word out, and this year the Regina Riot won the WWCFL. So they're a pretty good team. The team's in Saskatchewan, but yeah. So we said, we need this team. So let's get going, and we created a league.
So to the women at home who are watching, who really want to start playing football in the spring, where do they go? Where do they find information about the Fearless or any other teams?
Our website is www.cfl.com. In Manitoba, our website is Manitoba Fearless, or you can go to fearlessfootballwomen.com. Both websites go to the same place. All women's football is played in the spring in North America. So we start May and June, and our championships are in July. So be prepared for that. It's not regular football season, So don't wait until May to contact somebody. Most teams will start practicing and doing some workout stuff usually in at least January. We're pretty fortunate that the University of Manitoba Bison have an elite training program, and they contacted the girls and asked if we would be interested in participating with them to get some of the girls up to the standards of playing at a national championship. We've always had girls on the national program, so we've had 2 world championships in 2010, 2013. And Fearless is so it's a Wolfpack. We've had players on the teams, but we next summer are playing at the national championship, which is almost an ID camp for the national program. And we really want to make sure that our girls are competitive when we go to the national championship, so they can showcase their best skills, be in the best shape that they can be in. So when it goes to making cuts for the national team, that we'll have I'm hoping a good majority of people on that team. So
awesome. Thank you so much, Tannis.
Thanks a lot for talking to us. Appreciate it.